Hi, this is Eric from longboxreview.com. Welcome to another episode of The Gutters. So you want to know what I did on my summer vacation? So today is the final day of August 2015, and it is a Monday, and I got off work a little bit ago, and oh my God, the day just slugged on. It took forever for 5 o'clock to get around. And all I wanted to do was come home and record this episode because I've been a little lazy. So let me back up. A few weeks ago, at the time of this recording, the week of August 12th, to be precise, my family and I went down to Boise, Idaho, or that area anyway, because we were all over the place. We were in Boise, we were in Eagle, we were in Caldwell, Napa. It's all in that area. And the reason we were down there was because, and I've mentioned this before in the podcast, but my daughter, my younger daughter, Brittany, got married. And we had the ceremony on August 12th, which was a Wednesday, which is kind of odd, I know. But that is the anniversary of the day that her fiance, Lucas, asked her to marry him. So it was really important for her to have this ceremony, this official thing happen on the anniversary of that date. So that's why it was on a Wednesday, which means, of course, that not as many people came that probably would have come to the ceremony, but that's okay. There were about, I think, 130, maybe 140 people altogether that showed up between family and friends. And it was a great time. But let me back up even further. So the summer vacation part is that we took that week off, my wife and I, to go down to join my daughter who lives in Boise and has been for quite a while now, before she got married. But so we went down there to be with her, to help prepare. There was certain things that we had to do to get done before the wedding. And so we went down. It was a Saturday, the Saturday before the ceremony. We drove down to Boise. That takes about, from where we live, that takes about 5, maybe 6 hours, depending on how many stops we take. So we get down there Saturday and just get together with my daughter, and we have dinner and just kind of hang out. No big deal. Sunday, the following day, what did we do? I actually don't remember what we did on Sunday. I know we did something. I don't remember. So anyway, Sunday something happened, and then Monday, the women, the bridal party, all went and had a spa day, I guess. And what does that leave for me to do? Not much. So this is where the comic book connection comes in, because I took that opportunity to head over to Captain Comics in Boise to get to see what I could find. Captain Comics was having a sale the week before we went down, and the week that we went down, and the week that we weren't there, the next week. But the owner, Corbett, was having this sale on trade paperbacks. And the first week was DC Comics trades. And the week that I was there was Marvel Comics trades. And the week after that was independent trades. So unfortunately, I missed a lot of the DC stuff, although Corbett still had a bunch of DC trades underneath the tables that held the Marvel trades. And I totally missed the indie trades, which is really unfortunate. I was trying to figure out a way that I could go down again for that, but I wasn't able to go to take advantage of that. But I was there for the week of Marvel trades, and so I went, and I spent a good, 2 or 3 hours at the store, not just looking for trades, but I was looking through the back issue bins, the dollar bins. They actually have 50-cent bins there, which is a lovely, lovely surprise. I didn't buy that many books from the back issue stuff, but as far as the 50-cent bin goes. But anyway, but their trade sale was pretty cool. They were doing a buy one get one free, or buy three get four free, and I said that right. That's exactly what they meant by that. But I took it to mean that you buy three and you get a fourth one free. And it wasn't until I went up to the register to pay for everything that I was basically told, no, if you want to pick out some more, you can get four free. So basically, you get 7 trades for only buying 3 of them, which I thought was fantastic. Unfortunately, I really didn't find enough of these trades that warranted going back and getting some more. I guess hard pressed I could have picked out a few more books, but I was also kind of on a time crunch at that point and felt I had spent way too much of my time at the store when I should have been doing other things. Turned out that was not the case, but I was for some reason feeling I shouldn't be indulging myself when I was down there for my daughter's wedding. But like I said, they were doing a spa day, so I guess in my own way, I was kind of doing a comic book version of a spa day, I guess. Anyway, a few of the things that I got here, well, not a few, I got several things. So one of the things I got was I found, and this was on my wish list, I found the Teen Titans Spotlight Cyborg trade that collected that miniseries from 2008. So that was a nice find. I almost actually bought this on the Comixology. They were having a sale having to do with the Titans comics, and this was on there, and I almost got it, and I thought, no, I really want to get this in paper form. So it was a happy situation that I found that. A book that I found that I was really excited about because I thought this was on my wish list, but it turns out that I was looking for a different book altogether, but that's okay because I don't have this particular one, and I'm sure I'll enjoy reading it. This is World's Finest, a collection of I believe it's a miniseries. Yep, it is a miniseries from 1990. This is featuring Superman and Batman. This is written by Dave Gibbons with Steve Rude on the pencils. So it looks pretty cool. It's drawn kind of retro, as if I think the story has to do with these characters interacting early on in their careers with each other. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Speaking of Superman, I did find the Superman Exile trade, which is collecting all those issues of Superman comics from, I don't know, from the late 80s, I believe, 88, 89. But this is the one after Superman killed Zod and a couple other Kryptonians for destroying that pocket Earth that the Matrix Supergirl came from. So he goes off into space because he's cracked a little bit, and he's concerned that he crossed a line there, and he's afraid of what he might do to others. So he goes off into space to exile himself, and he has his adventures. And I've always liked that storyline, and I kind of wanted it in trade so that I could go back and easily read through it in a sitting or two if I wanted to. So I got that. And my final trade that I got for the buy one get one free, I was trying really hard to find something, and I found In the Shadow of Edgar Allan Poe. This is by Jonathan Scott Fuqua, Stephen Park, and Stephen John Phillips. I don't know anything about this book. I vaguely recall maybe seeing some house ads for it. But it's a story involving Edgar Allan Poe, done from Vertigo. So I just picked it up just because, basically it was free. So I got that. I did pick up another. It's a trade of Sebastian O by Grant Morrison and Steve Yowell. This was not part of the buy one get one free, but it was only $2. It's a really thin trade, so I imagine the Sebastian O thing was like, 2 Prestige comics? I don't know. I vaguely remember this series as well. It's Grant Morrison, so I had to pick it up. And then as far as the back issues I found, like I said, I just was going through all these back issues and I just grabbed a few things that caught my eye. One of which was the first issue of Our Man by Peyer Morales and Micas. So this is was it 1999, that the robotic or android Our Man from the DC 1 Million, I think, event. Anyway, I heard this was a good series. Unfortunately, I can only find a few issues, and I don't like to get, unless I can get a big chunk of issues, I don't like to get onesies, twosies in a run, so I just got the first issue. I haven't read it yet. I'll read through it, and I'm sure I will probably be seeking out this comic if it's as good as I've heard. One thing on my wish list I found, it was pretty cheap. This, and I just recently added this to my wish list. It's Flash 277. Now, I talked before on my YouTube channel about a bunch of books I got. One of which was Flash 276, which is the issue after 275, of course, but it's after Iris dies, after Iris is murdered. And so the story from 275, 276, I didn't realize this continued into 277, so I wanted to kind of get that story. And mostly it's about Flash interacting with his Justice League friends, and he goes a little crazy and fights them a little bit. And there's some other things going on in it too, but that pretty much ends that story as far as I'm concerned. I picked this up. It's a Superman Family issue, number 195. I only picked it up because Supergirl is fighting Superboy on the cover, and I really miss the Superboy character as he was back in the Bronze and the Bronze Age, the Silver and Bronze Age. So yeah, I just got it. The actual story though of Supergirl fighting Superboy is really lame, unfortunately. So the comic did not live up to the promise of the cover. I already have this, but I found it for $1 in the dollar bin. It's in pretty good condition. It's the new Teen Titans Annual number 1 from 1982, with Starfire holding up, about ready to throw her sister Blackfire, and the Titans are there. It's a painted cover. I think it's one of the first painted covers I ever saw in comics, and so anyway, I just thought I'd grab it just because, even though I have it. And then finally, I found... oh, no, not finally. Sorry. I got two more things. I found the Epic Comics number 1 issue of George Perez's Sax and Violins for 50 cents. And I've always heard of this series. I've only read a little bit of these characters, and so I thought I'd just get this issue and check it out. You know, it's George Perez art, so can't be all that bad, right? And then finally, back in 1988, there was the new Starman, Will Payton, I want to say. Payer? I think I'm confusing comic creator in this character. I think it's Will Payton. The new Starman. Anyway, the guy with the garish purple, yellow, and white costume with the kind of the upside down star. I got that first issue, and for some reason did not buy any issues after that one. But I've kept it in my collection for some reason, and I found issues 2 through 5 of the series and picked those up for 50 cents a piece. So I get to read a little bit more Starman. Oh, I remember what we did on Sunday. So we went to an amusement park type thing, sort of. It's where you could go ride go-karts and play mini golf and laser tag and that kind of stuff. It's just a thing in the Boise area. So we did that on Sunday and just hung out and had a good time with everybody. And then Wednesday was the big day, the wedding day, and that was interesting. If for nothing else, then it was the second hottest day of that week in that area. So the expected high was, I think, 99 degrees that day. And I had to be dressed up pretty early. So the ceremony was set at 5 o'clock. And we were there at the venue at about, I want to say 10:30, something like that. No. I think it was 12:30. Anyway, but I had to be in my suit, complete with tie and everything, outside to take pictures with my daughter. That was one of the things that we had to do that before the ceremony. And so I don't know that I've ever sweat as much and for as long a period as I did than that day. But let me tell you guys, I've talked about my daughter's impending wedding before, and I've made jokes about the fact that she's getting married and to this boy, this horrible, stinky boy that has captured her heart. And that's I'm just joking. It's all in jest because he's a pretty good guy, and even better because he has my daughter for his wife now. But in all seriousness, my little girl, who's all grown up now and who is a beautiful young woman, has never looked so elegant than she did in that wedding dress. The first time I saw her, I mean, I've seen her in the wedding dress before, but the first time I saw her that day for the pictures, I can't even describe it. It was just an incredible feeling to see her all grown up and looking as beautiful and radiant as she did that day. It was just incredible. And the rest of the day was just kind of a whirlwind of, there was a lot of waiting around because we had to do all the pictures and things weren't quite ready. Even up to about 4:30, things were not set up completely. And so we were getting, I was getting a little nervous about it, but it all came together. Beautiful ceremony, very short, which is how I like it, and that's how my daughter and her fiance wanted it. But given how much money I and my wife have put into that wedding, I was kind of thinking maybe we should have had just a little bit more of a ceremony. But it was a lovely time. It was over quickly, and then we got down to the celebration part, which was the best part anyway. Lovely food. It was great seeing our friends and family there, for the ones that could show up anyway. So great time, and then the evening ended all too soon, and then we went home and crashed. Or went back to the hotel and crashed. I think we got up and around I want to say 10:30 the next morning. So yeah, we deserved a little R&R after that day. And then Thursday was just a lazy day. We were invited over to my daughter's house, and they hosted a barbecue for friends and family that were still in the area. So we just hung out there and ate food and talked. We got to see a lot of photos that people were taking, family members that were taking photos. Got to see a lot of that, so that was really cool. And then Friday we were actually going to go back home on Friday, but his parents invited us to go along with them and their family members on a rafting trip. So we went to the nearby Payette River, and we did some whitewater rafting, which was a lot of fun. Considering that I live about 2 hours away, 3 hours away, something like that, away from what is at least locally known as the whitewater capital of the world in Riggins, Idaho, I've never been whitewater rafting. So we jumped at the chance and did that, and it was a lot of fun. Great fun. It was cold. I mentioned how hot it was on Wednesday, but by Friday, the cooler temperatures were starting to creep into the area. So I did get sunburned, however. My legs are still kind of feeling the effect of that. But despite that, it was still kind of cold, the cold water. But we had a great time. I almost fell out of the boat once, but no one ever went in, unwillingly at least. So that was a good time. And then Saturday, we went back home. So what have I been up to in the meantime? So that was a few weeks ago as of this recording. We've had, and this started while we were in Boise, we had a bunch of wildfires. You may have heard of the wildfires in the inland northwest of the country, and we're pretty much, I won't say smack dab in the middle, but pretty close to it. Not to the point where the fires were actually endangering where I live, but areas close to where I live were in danger. The only real effect that it had was we had a lot of smoke in the area for almost a good 2 weeks solid, where you would look outside and you would just, it would be like looking at a heavy fog, only it smelled, and you didn't want to be out there breathing that a lot. So I spent a lot of time indoors, not doing much. And after the wedding week, that was my vacation, quote unquote, but I just felt like not doing much. So I spent a lot of time really, I read some comics and stuff, but I mostly watched TV and ended up watching, I watched on a whim. I had recorded these already, but I hadn't watched them. I started watching iZombie, which is the new CW series based on the Vertigo comic, which, I got the first arc of that comic, and I really enjoyed the art, the Mike Allred art. But the story was just it was okay. It wasn't really exciting me at the time, so I dropped it. But when I saw that they were doing this TV series, I wanted to check it out, and I started watching it, and oh my gosh, guys, it is a lot of fun. I'm not a big zombie fan, of the movies and all, there's a ton of comics that feature zombies. I just don't get into it. I read in trade, I read The Walking Dead up through volume 21 or 22. Whenever the Whispering Walkers storyline started, I decided I'd had enough. But iZombie is just a lot of fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is, I think, representative of what I remember of the comic. And I enjoy the way that the lead actress takes on the personalities of the people whose brains she eats. So you get to see her flex her acting muscles, as it were. And the supporting characters are kind of fun and in some cases funny. I'm only like a few episodes in. I think I watched 3 episodes so far, but I really, really enjoyed it. I feel bad because I haven't even finished Daredevil yet. And for that matter, I gave up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I had most of the second season recorded on my DVR, and I watched, I don't know, a handful of episodes. I don't even remember now. And I just decided that while I enjoyed a few of the characters, especially Fitz and Simmons, it just wasn't, it was just sitting there, all these episodes. I'm like, I got to get to it. And I just never felt compelled to watch it. So I deleted all of the episodes, all the remaining episodes, and I don't plan to return to it. I did finish watching The Flash. That was a while ago, though. That wasn't part of this lazy time that I did. And we have that whole the DC Legends of Tomorrow series. All those interesting different characters. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but I'll give that a shot. But I don't know. I'd rather read comics than watch TV shows about them. But we'll see. I guess I'm talking about this because the fall season is nearly upon us, and here's all this stuff that'll be happening are coming out really soon, and I just don't have time between all the comics I read all the time and all the stuff that I have yet to read. The other TV series that I am watching, the podcast, all this stuff that I, obviously family stuff. Last but not least, there's something's got to give. I can't keep up with all the geeky goodness out there, which is so bizarre to me, considering when I was a young lad growing up, thinking that, how cool it would be to see, the Avengers on the big screen, or, the Justice League, and now we have all these movies. Every year there's a superhero movie, and we have all this television. It's like the golden age of geekdom going on right now, and I'm deciding not to participate. It's just bizarre to me. Anyway, but as you are hearing, I'm back in the saddle, as it were, to do some more podcast episodes. I've got some really cool things planned coming to the main show, the comic book focus show. Although I have a couple of things that are slotted for more gutters, more ancillary comic book related stuff, I guess, if you will. Maybe even some more personal stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how you guys like this. And speaking of that, if you'd like to hear more about my personal life, although I can't imagine why you'd want to, you can let me know that. You can email me at longboxreview@gmail.com. You can also get a hold of me on Twitter at longboxreview, or you can leave comments at longboxreview.com. Thanks for listening, everybody.